The idea of the Aryan race has been deeply intertwined with history, culture, and politics for centuries, often clouded by myths, misconceptions, and manipulation. Among the various peoples historically linked to the Aryan concept, Afghans are frequently highlighted as having a legitimate claim to this lineage. The notion of Afghans being the real Aryan race stems from both ancient historical accounts and linguistic evidence, alongside their geographical and cultural history. This article will delve into these elements to better understand the connection between Afghans and the Aryan race. The term Aryan is derived from the Sanskrit word Arya, which means noble or honorable. It originally referred to Indo-European-speaking tribes who migrated into the Indian subcontinent around 1500 BCE. These groups settled in the northern part of India, Iran, and what is today Afghanistan. Aryans were not a race in the modern biological sense but were instead an ethnic and linguistic group whose language is the ancestor of many modern Indo-European languages. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European scholars, particularly those aligned with German nationalist ideologies, misappropriated the term Aryan to refer to a so-called master race, linking it to people of Northern European descent. This distortion of history was further propelled by the Nazi regime, leading to tragic consequences. In reality, the historical Aryans were a nomadic group from the steppes of Central Asia, and their influence spread across the Iranian plateau, the Indian subcontinent, and the regions of modern-day Afghanistan. Afghanistan occupies a pivotal position in the ancient Aryan migration patterns. Historically, the region has been at the crossroads of several important civilizations, and it was part of the ancient Iranian world. The Avesta, the sacred text of Zoroastrianism, the ancient Iranian religion, referred to ancient Aryan peoples as Arya, and they are believed to have originated from an area that includes parts of modern Afghanistan. Several ancient Iranian tribes settled in the region, and formed some of the earliest civilizations, such as the Bactrians, who were one of the major Aryan groups. Historically, Afghanistan was known as Aryana, and its inhabitants were believed to be descendants of the original Indo-Iranian Aryan tribes. The Afghan people today can trace their cultural and linguistic heritage back to these early Aryan settlers. This heritage is reflected in the Pashto and Dari languages, both of which belong to the Indo-Iranian branch of the Indo-European language family. Language as a link to Aryan heritage. Linguistics plays a vital role in linking Afghans to the ancient Aryans. The Pashto and Dari, Afghan Persian, languages spoken by the majority of Afghans, are part of the Indo-Iranian group of the Indo-European language family. Pashto, in particular, is considered one of the easternmost Iranian languages, and is believed to have preserved several features of the ancient Aryan tongue. The ancient texts of the Avesta, as well as the Rig Veda, contain many linguistic similarities to Pashto, reinforcing the idea that the Afghans have direct ties to the early Aryan tribes. The Indo-Iranian peoples who spoke these early Aryan languages are considered to be the progenitors of much of the culture, mythology, and linguistic traditions that permeate Afghanistan today. Aryan legacy and Afghan culture and identity. Afghan culture and identity are deeply intertwined with the Aryan legacy. From their names and traditional dress to their cultural festivals, many aspects of Afghan life echo ancient Aryan traditions. One example is the celebration of Nowruz, the Persian New Year, which is observed by many Afghans as a nod to their shared Indo-Iranian heritage. This festival, which has been celebrated for over 3,000 years, is rooted in Zoroastrianism and symbolizes the rebirth of nature, a tradition that can be traced back to ancient Aryan rituals. Afghanistan's ethnogenesis and nation-building efforts have also frequently emphasized this Aryan connection. Several Afghan dynasties, including the Durrani Empire in the 18th century, have identified themselves with the Aryan legacy, as it provided a sense of unity and pride in their historical roots. The modern misuse of the Aryan term. Despite the legitimate historical ties between Afghans and the original Aryan peoples, the term Aryan has been misused in modern times, especially in racial ideologies propagated during the 19th and 20th centuries. European colonialists and nationalists distorted the meaning of Aryan to fit their racist and ethnocentric narratives, falsely associating it with a superior white race. This misuse has overshadowed the authentic history of the Aryan peoples, including Afghans, who had nothing to do with the pseudo-scientific racial theories that emerged in Europe. Instead, the Aryans of antiquity were a diverse group of Indo-European speakers who spread their culture, language, and traditions across a vast geographical area, including Iran, India, and Afghanistan. Afghans, particularly the Pashtuns and other ethnic groups inhabiting the region, have a legitimate historical and linguistic connection to the ancient Aryan peoples. Afghanistan, often referred to as Aryana in antiquity, was a central hub for the spread of Aryan culture and civilization. While the term Aryan has been distorted in modern times, it is important to recognize its true origins and the rightful place of Afghans within this rich historical legacy. By embracing their ancient Aryan roots, Afghans can celebrate a cultural identity that is tied to one of the oldest and most influential civilizations in human history. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, you may like, share or subscribe for more.